And I saw a sign recently that said, people who are flexible don't get bent out of shape. It reminds me kind of a team cleaning seminar I did many years ago. And I had a pretty hostile audience, to tell you the truth. They were going to tell me that backpacks just didn't work. In fact, they weren't going to tell me that. They did tell me that. Backpacks don't work. And so I had to spend quite a bit of time with a bunch of skeptics. And we went through the backpack seminar, we went through the team cleaning seminar, and at the end of the second day, they were convinced that that was the best thing they'd ever seen. And it was a large international company, and they said, we want you to come down and teach this to our people. This is wonderful stuff. And these were the same people that when we started this was like Friday, Saturday seminars, and we started Friday morning, they wanted to chop my head off. By the time we got through Saturday evening, they wanted me, I was their best buddy, and one of the things that we did when we did the team cleaning seminars is we would explain to people that if they did our system, that they could save somewhere between 25 to 50% on their direct labor, which is a really big number. And I remember one gentleman in particular that took issue with that, and he was really argumentative with me in front of everyone, and I finally just, in the best way that I could, I said, why don't we talk about this during the break? And he said, well, okay, we'll talk about it during the break. Well, the break came, and I was hoping that he kind of forgot it, but he didn't. We just barely broke, and here he came walking up to the front. He said, I want to continue that discussion. Well, I didn't want to, but I did. And he said, I just don't believe I can save 25 to 50%. And finally, I said to the gentleman, I said, well, what number do you think would be an accurate number that you might be able to save? And he said, well, I think I could save 10%. And I said, well, let me ask you this. How much is your payroll in a year's time? And he said, well, it's about $500,000. And I said, okay, so if you have a $500,000 a year payroll and you can save 10% of that, that's $50,000. Don't you think that for $50,000 per year, if you never grow or lose any business, that would be worth implementing a team cleaning system? He said, I never thought of it that way. And I said, well, use whatever number you want to use. So that taught me early on too, is to, when I did those seminars, that let them pick their own number. We knew what the number was, but let them pick their own number, because it was going to be a real big number either way. So anyway, going to one of those seminars one time, we were having an open forum discussion, and one of the participants said, one of the things we've been doing is vacuuming our tile floors with a backpack vacuum. And I'm their leader. See, I'm supposed to know everything that's going on. I said, you can't do that. And the gentleman who was assisting me said, you can't do that. And so we knew better. And of course, what happens is this gentleman says it, and about 3 or 4 other people say the same thing. They said, we've been doing that. So anyway, I thought, well, there may be some merit to this. I'm supposed to be the all-knowing soothsayer on this stuff, and, I haven't picked up on that. Well, I go home, and the next week, and I talk to my director of operations, or my chief operations officer, and I said, Craig, one of the things that they were telling me at the team cleaning seminar this past weekend was that they're using the vacuum cleaner to dust mop tile floors. And I said, I told them it didn't work, but they're insistent. You might want to try it. He looked at me with kind of a childish grin, and he said, Dick, I've been doing it for 2 years. And here was a guy that was traveling around the country talking about it, but didn't even know that it was happening in his own organization, so it happened. But anyway, I found out down through the years that that the problem with a lot of people is that it's not getting the old information, out of their brain. It's getting the new information in. In fact, I have it on my website. That it's one of the sayings I put on my website. Website is that The problem with people is not getting old information out of their brain, it's getting new information in. And think about it. How about you? Are you bent out of shape and having trouble getting new information in because you've got all the old information that you won't get out of your brain? So, are you willing to listen to new ideas? And are you willing to listen to new ideas, especially when those new ideas may be coming from someone half your age? That, being the old traditionalist, older guys like me, many times we end up with a leader, we work for a leader that's maybe half our age. And are we willing to listen to those good ideas? You see, if you will listen and observe and take the advice and put the new information in your brain and get the old information out, I'm going to suggest to you that you're not going to get bent out of shape.